Welcome to the Neighborhood Watch Party podcast with George, James, and Drew. While we may essentially just be fans of the sport, we passionately debate it weekly and have recorded it here for your viewing pleasure. Check out our social media in the description to find us on other platforms. Please enjoy. Hello, everybody, again. Welcome to another week of the Neighborhood Watch Party podcast. We are doing this a lot longer than I think we expected to. We are almost up on week 10. We are almost in double digits on the episode numbers. We are in week 9 now. As we look at the next week of postseason and the previous week of postseason play in the NFL. Again, like we usually do, we're just going to go over some pretty general things in the same format that we usually do. We'll start off with betting, get into last week's games, talk some news. I don't know how much news we have for our own teams this week, but if anyone has anything to talk about there, we'll talk about it. We'll get into some current stuff with some on the field and off the field issues, whether it be coach hirings, player awards, or player Twitter activity. But we've got a lot of different kind of stuff put on the podcast today. And then finally, we'll look to the next week of football. We've only got a couple of games this week, but they're looking to be some pretty packed ones at this point in the season. And so once we get our picks in for both of those, we'll wrap up this episode. And really, we're going to be heading into the last week of a really exciting NFL season. You know, it's sad, I think, where the state of all of our individual teams ended up. But I think we'll talk about that later, and we'll get more into that. However, before we get into the bulk of our podcast today, we are on an anniversary of something quite tragic. 3 years ago to this day, Kobe and his daughter Gianna tragically passed away after a really serious helicopter crash over in California, I believe it was. Kobe was a monumental force for the game, and whether or not it be people you see respecting him just as an elder of the game now, whether or not it be the fact that I still shout Kobe whenever I shoot trash into a trash can, whether it be that any time I throw up a 3 in 2K, it's screaming that as well. Like, Kobe has made his impact on the game, and it's going to be marked forever. I mean, there's even discussions that they want to change the logo to Kobe. Like, if Kobe's the new logo man, I don't think anyone's going to argue with that. I don't know how much you guys got to watch of Kobe. I mean, we obviously all probably watched a little bit.
I was a Kobe. Kobe was my favorite basketball player.
When LeBron left, I became a Lakers fan, and so I started watch. I've been when LeBron left the first time, not like when he went to the Lakers. I'm saying I was just into the color purple, so that's why I watched the Lakers.
I remember I used to play NBA Jam, the arcade game, and I'd use Kobe and Shaq.
Oh yeah,
And dude, oh my god, unstoppable. And I mean, Kobe just a role model to the basketball community and really society as a whole. The Mamba mentality, man. Work hard, work for what you want to go after. And sad he's gone, but
no, it's sad. But I mean, we've definitely felt his impact. And I mean, while it's tragic that he's not able to continue, sort of like everyone's saying, his grandpa face in the NBA would have been one of the funniest ever. Like, how all these old guys come to the games and get to watch and get to interact with everybody. Again, like we were talking Sharp the other week on the thing. I feel like Kobe would have been such a hilarious personality to have on a sideline for like some of these young kids playing ball now. And it's sad that we don't have him. But I mean, again, going forward, I think his impact on the game is still a positive one, and I think we all look back on Kobe positive. I can't think of a negative thing to say about Kobe.
No, yeah, I think Kobe's impact on the game will forever be looked at. I mean, you know, the man wasn't even, like you said, wasn't even able to make it into his quote-unquote grandpa age of basketball, and yet, you know, one of my favorite things to do is still look up old interviews of players talking about playing Kobe for the first time or their experience playing Kobe. It's incredible. You know, his impact will never be forgotten.
Iman Shumpert.
Iman Shumpert is fantastic. Yeah, I love that video.
No, again, great. I love just watching anything Kobe, especially. I mean, a lot more of it has become like much more popularized since his passing. Excuse me, but I feel just like in general. Again, we know Kobe's impact. Everyone knows who Kobe Bryant is, even if you're not in like the United States. I feel like you know Kobe Bryant, like just on an international scale, his presence been made. But with that, I think we could get back into the realm of football. However, staying on that basketball topic, like we've sort of mentioned in a couple weeks past, we do maybe want to start talking a bit more basketball on the podcast coming up, especially as, I mean, it's not going to be a main thing or anything, but especially as we step away from this NFL season, there's going to be a lot less stuff coming through. George, you're like echoing a little bit.
Well, I mean, he is eating. That's probably why.
No, but it wasn't doing that earlier. Like, I'm hearing myself back through you. Yeah, there we go. I don't know. I mean, I still hear it. Hopefully that's better. Yeah, there we go.
That better?
Yeah. Sorry about that. But again, we are looking to maybe cover some more basketball, whether that be professional or collegiate, just as again, we're stepping away from the NFL season. And so if there's any teams you particularly want us to look at, we're always looking for a potential neighborhood watch team for those particular leagues. So, again, we want to hear your teams. Tell us who we're supporting. If you don't, I'm going to end up just trying to convince everybody to, like, watch the Hornets or something. Like, I'm going to find a player.
What he's saying is, if someone comments their favorite team below, it's probably going to become the neighborhood watch team.
Yeah, this is true. This is true. Nobody ever typed Wario. Nobody ever typed Wario.
Unless you say some dumb shit like the Clippers. I ain't rooting for the Clippers.
All right. But with that, I think we can get into the betting scoreboard update for last week. And while things have stayed tight, I have pulled ahead of George. I have broken our tie. Getting my Jaguars pick right and my San Francisco lock correct, I moved up to 31 points. Now, George got more picks than me right, but his Giants lock did not come through. I don't know why you locked that one. I looked at your picks, George. That felt like the one that I was least confident in. Just looking at these matchups. I mean, I could say a lot retroactively, I guess. But George gets almost a perfect week minus his lock. James does not complete the parlay, but we're still going to give James some 3 points for getting 3 of those 8 picks right. He's up to 19.
I don't want the points. I didn't get the parlay.
Nope.
You don't have to give me anything.
They're already on there. You've been awarded bonus credit from DraftKings. only one leg of your same game parlay loss. So you get your bet back.
Just when they had me leave and they brought me right back in.
No, it's again, James. Honestly, again, the lock for Buffalo felt so good. We can talk about this later. We obviously didn't see that go through, but we could start talking some of last week's games because that puts the scoreboard again. Drew at 31, George at 30, and James at 19. While it's still anyone's game, at the top. James, I think, is out at this point. Sadly.
You think? I know I'm out.
I mean, if me and George get this week wrong, let's put it this way. You can get
if you guys take negative points, I could maybe make it back in. Maybe.
Yeah, no, it's impossible.
It's over. It's all right. I lost. It's fine.
I don't think you can make it back in if we took negative points.
Well, it depends on how many negative points.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
1 point for a win, 2 points for a loss.
James did have a rough betting season. But we can talk about that more, hopefully, at the end of I think we can maybe have a look back at our bets. We can maybe go over those a little more thoroughly.
I think my major issue, honestly, was just my locks never hit. So
that's what I'm saying. I think we could go back and look at that maybe next week when we have a little even less to talk about. So there's only going to be one.
That's my guess. My guess is I'll have the least locked picks.
I didn't even think we have a 2-week gap coming up because there's not going to be football next week.
Special edition Pro Bowl episode, but it'll be a.
I hate the Pro. It's going to be an hour and a half of us trashing the Pro Bowl.
Well, it's the skills. It's the skills competition.
Flag football. Yeah,
dude.
Flag.
Hey, all I'm saying is, if they let the O-line start running routes, I'm gonna get real entertained real quick.
No, I agree. If we started doing stuff like offense plays defense and defense plays offense, I'd be down.
They might. Who knows?
I want Fred Warner throwing the ball to Fletcher Cox.
I want vet QB ball. You get to bring one veteran QB in to run your offense.
Even Peyton Manning.
Yeah, literally bring down Ben and have it be a celebrity game. but
Well, I don't know if you've seen, but Ben's been podcasting pretty
no,
hard.
footballing with Ben Roth. I watch football, and you don't gotta tell me about that.
I don't watch it, but I see clips.
It is great. It's very entertaining. He gets to have very good guests. Like he brought James Harrison in, and he brought he's had a lot of good people on. Also, like I know Kenny just went on record saying it's confirmed Kenny will be going on that podcast in the upcoming future. They just got to figure out a date. So
Right after he finishes our podcast.
oh maybe
Of course, yeah, of course.
I'm just gonna have to go. Now that we've got this going, I will be doing that thing where I go to every day of training camp until Kenny Pickett says hello to me.
All
I'm
right,
gonna do like a TikTok series, but we'll figure it out later.
But I think we should talk about the games.
Yeah, no, that's
a
fine.
few stunners this week.
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not particularly stunned by any of them. These all seemed in the realm of possibility.
The most stunned I am is by the Eagles.
Yeah,
that's them to win.
The most stunned I am is by the Bills, I think.
No, 'cause I expected Cincy to come in and win.
Yeah, but I didn't expect them to win like that.
Yeah, they won quite convincingly. You're right.
What
game you want to talk about first? Want to talk about?
I think we could talk about the Eagles first because that was a blowout.
I mean, that was a divisional round blowout, dude. You don't see a lot of
we've been saying like the repeat match is usually a thing for better football. That did not appear to be the case for the New York Giants.
I mean, usually in them rematches, at minimum, the games are kind of close. I mean, the Eagles' offensive line took the Giants' defense and said, they literally just grabbed him and said, "All right, you're not doing anything today."
Yeah, I really think this game was just the real definition of the on paper matchup won and should have won. Because if you look on paper, the Eagles roster is just leaps and strides better than the Giants roster.
Don't get me. I think one of the few positions, like if there's any position they could compete at, it's running back, and that's just because Saquon's good. But even the Eagles have good running backs too. Like don't get me wrong.
Yeah, but I think that's
the Eagles also have
the
Eagles also have 3 All-Pro offensive linemen.
No, but that's my point.
Like, if you look through the rosters, I think the only position group that the Giants win is running back. Everything else, I think the Eagles are just better.
No, and that's I've said this before, James. I'm always of thinking, especially the playoffs. I think quarterbacks win you the game. I think as long as your quarterback isn't making very egregious mistakes, like the person with the better quarterback performing will always win the game. And when you're talking, not always, most of the time, sure.
A lot of the time, quarterback play determines the game.
But my point is, when you look at Jalen Hurts versus Daniel Dimes, give me Jalen Hurts any day of the week. Like, honestly, do I maybe in the would I build a franchise off of Jalen Hurts? Maybe not. Would I build a franchise off of Daniel Dimes? No. But get in a game in 2023 January. If I had to bet my life on it, I'm not taking Daniel Dimes to win that game. No,
I definitely think Jalen Hurts is better than Danny Dimes. I do think though that the Giants O line got exposed by the Eagles D line in this game. Like Daniel Jones made some mistakes, but he did not have a good time in that pocket.
But
a lack of a pocket, I should say.
Again, I kind of want to see where was the yard distribution on offense. What was the attack kind of like? Was it a pass heavy day or a rush heavy day for the Eagles?
I'm pretty sure it was a very rush heavy day by the Eagles.
Because I kind of want to see.
The Eagles love running the ball. If the Eagles could run the ball the whole game, they're not going to throw it. They only throw it when they have to, really. I mean, I don't know. They were throwing the ball. They did everything good. They fucking blew them out. I live betted Giants plus 25.5, and it didn't hit.
Jeez.
That's incredible.
I was like, come on. At the time, I think the Eagles were up 18 or something. I'm like, all right, come on. The Giants aren't going to fuck this up.
The Eagles rushed for 268 yards as a team, and they threw for 148 yards as a team, 150.
Yeah. So scored so many points.
Was there a defense? Was it a defense day? Was it a...
they ran for 268 yards. I mean,
they did fucking everything right.
I mean, they had one running back average almost 10 yards a carry.
Yeah, that'll win you a football game. You got to feed that kind of guy the ball, and so honestly, there's not much more we need to talk about. The Giants, again, performed a lot better than I think anybody expected them to do at the start of the season, though. So
No, I think they're a very well coached team that the talent finally caught up to them.
I
Like,
think
this
they
was
need
the
to get-
game that the talent caught up.
I think they need to pick some players up. I think they need, like,
Who?
maybe the Giants. They
Oh
need.
shit!
They
You're
need.
throwing the ball to Richie James.
That's what I'm saying. They need a receiver. They need at least a receiver. I'm not particularly aware of their defense, but it feels like they might need to step it up there.
I like they got a good defensive line right now.
Their D line's
Thibodeau,
good. Their
Sexy
linebacking and
Dexy.
secondary isn't great.
Williams. I don't know much about their secondary, but their front.
I mean,
uh,
I think they had
yeah,
like
they need a corner.
Listen,
yeah, they need. I mean, their starting corner was hurt for most of the year, but for a lot of the year, their starting corner was Fabian Moreau, who used to be like a third string corner in Washington. So that's not great as your starting corner.
All right, guys, I'm tweeting real quick. Said we're live. Comment any NFL playoff questions. Hashtag NFL. Hashtag podcast. Hashtag sports. Hashtag.
use all the
Sporty
hashtags. Fucking use all of them.
Apparently, hashtag SportyBet has had a lot of tweets today. We're
What?
hashtag SportyBet.
Listen, I think we need to just like tweet every hour of the day, all the time.
Logged into the Twitter.
I know. I'm gonna start tweeting about like any sport though. I think, and particularly, I'm gonna start buying really cheap Cavs tickets. Like I want to like do really shitty highlight reels from like the nosebleeds of the Cavs arena. Look, Spider dunk, and it's just from like a mile away. Like you don't see anybody.
So what we have to start doing is just sending out a shitload of tweets of free agency predictions. Just be like, or trade predictions. Be like,
We know Aaron Rodgers is
Breaking
going
news.
to
Yeah.
4 different team tweets.
we know Aaron Rodgers is getting traded. Aaron Rodgers has officially been traded to the Jets, and then we do that for like every team we think he could possibly trade it to, and then once he does get traded, we delete all the other tweets and then screenshot us tweeting that a week ago.
Say we
Could
have
you guys,
the insiders.
Could you guys imagine if he gets traded to the Jets? Because I would love if the way Aaron Rodgers' career ends is if he gets traded to the Jets, plays for them for a year, and then plays for the Vikings to follow the exact same
The
path
Jets
as Brett Favre.
The Jets just hired Nathaniel Hackett because that's going to solve Zach Wilson's not being able to score issues.
They also signed Tennessee's offensive line coach.
No,
Yeah,
they
but
didn't.
doesn't
Oh,
Rodgers
God.
like Hackett?
Oh,
Doesn't
God.
Rodgers like Hackett?
Yeah, I think
I mean,
Rodgers
probably.
worked with Hackett.
That's what I'm saying.
I think that hiring Hackett was a move to get Rodgers.
Oh God. Ugh.
Anyone hiring.
Well,
Hackett
at
and the
least
Titans
I'm gonna be
O-line
honest.
coach should be
The
scared.
ayahuasca's legal in New York, right? Like, or at least decriminalized, right?
Listen, I saw a Photoshop of Aaron Rodgers in a Jets jersey, and it was captioned, "He just looks less athletic."
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway,
I think we can go
let's
to
move
next
on
game.
the next game.
Yeah, because here, the Bengals absolutely stunned the Bills. There was, once I saw DeMar was in the arena, which I don't know. Have you guys seen the conspiracy theories around that? It's kind of.
I
I've seen the DeMar conspiracy.
We can talk about that later, but
What's the conspiracy
wait,
theory?
we'll talk. Wait, but we'll talk about the game first. When I was told DeMar Hamlin was in the building, I didn't think the Bills could lose. And I guess this is a good way to transition into conspiracy theory. But the conspiracy theory is that he wasn't in the building. James,
I'm on the conspiracy theory.
No,
Are you serious?
no, James, have you seen all of the clips of DeMar?
I haven't.
He
saw the
is
one of-
wearing sunglasses and a full ski mask inside the whole time.
Yeah,
he
no,
doesn't
I have
show
seen
his
that.
face
Video of him,
once.
Like today, there's a video of him today at like rehab, barely being able to walk.
No, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it almost feels like it wasn't him.
Okay. Do you know how funny it would be? Because there was also like a video of him in the locker room. I'm pretty sure. You know how funny it would be for them to put a fake DeMar in the locker room and just like have some PR guy be like, "Hey, everyone, look, it's DeMar." It's just
Well,
a
no, but that's
random dude.
I'm telling you.
That's so
that-
fucked up.
No, but I'm telling you that is totally a reason why I think Josh Allen only put up 10 points. I think they thought, oh, this was gonna be. Imagine they bring in a dude wrapped in clothes. It's like, that's DeMar, and they're like, oh, brother, and they're like, I don't even know your name. Like, imagine that.
Fake DeMar is the reason the Bills had no morale.
That's what I'm saying. The Bills looked like a team that didn't know how to play football, and they were unspirited. And
No, they look really bad.
and
They looked very bad.
and you know what would make them potentially play like that?
Fake DeMar Hamlin.
Fake DeMar Hamlin.
I mean,
I'm
that's
not-
kind of crazy.
it sounds
That's fucked up
crazy.
by the Bills if they did that, but
Now,
like just
I don't actually believe it's real.
Sure,
But
I
it
like
is kind of entertaining.
no, but the
no, it's an entertaining thought. If they
no,
did it,
but
it's fucked
literally,
up,
James. Like, so my argument is maybe it's like a facial thing from like like he's had the masks on his face for the ventilators and stuff. Maybe there's like marks and he doesn't want to.
One rumor is that he had like an oxygen tube in his nose. And
Yeah,
didn't want
and
to-
so there'd be marks from that, and that's what I'm saying. The dude, even when he was inside, like at the top, like in his private thing, he was still in the like full puffy jacket, the full hat, sunglasses, mask. Like he never took the costume, if you want to say it's fake, off.
To be fair, he did post a picture of him in that in front of a
Hey,
mural.
yeah. To be fair, Andrew Tate is tweeting from his Twitter. He's also in jail.
Yeah, they probably let him keep his phone.
No, they more. You know how me and you are logged into our Twitter, George?
Dude, imagine being the dude in charge of pretending to be Andrew Tate on Twitter.
We're not, dude. It's probably, but we're getting a little too off topic here.
Let's talk about the.
What does he keep calling it?
But my point is, DeMar's mom is known to run his social media, I believe.
So you think DeMar's mom?
Well, no, well, that's what I'm saying. If it's true, how many people have to be in on it? Like that's what that's what makes me think it's not true. I like to believe the family of DeMar Hamlin would never let that not see the light of day.
Yeah, it's not a funny
amazing.
controversy. It's an entertaining thought. It just probably isn't true.
But again, I don't want to give it too much weight because again, there's no like real proof. But again, people have been making the there's literally not a shot of DeMar's face in the stadium that day. He is like fully covered the entire time. And whether or not,
like George was saying, there could be legitimate reasons.
oh,
for
and
that,
that's what,
but,
yeah,
we just
and
don't
whether
know.
or not that's the reason they lost, or whether or not that's true. Joe Burrow played some football in the snow, man. Snow Burrow, new nickname acquired.
Well, you know where they're playing next week. They're playing at Burrowhead.
That's a little.
Oh.
I think you're gonna you bet they better watch with that.
That's bulletin board material, baby.
That's
To be fair, they have owned the Chiefs for the last 2 years, so they've kind of earned it.
Well,
yeah, but it's gonna be really funny when they're down like 20 and the Chiefs are just gonna be like chanting Burrowhead. Like Burrowhead.
Oh no, that would be hilarious.
Burrowhead.
I'm just saying they've earned it. Like they have legitimately earned the
Like
right
I'm
to
waiting
say
for
it.
Burrow to come out and have like a T-Law first half against the Chargers. Like they're like, get Burrowhead. Like
I mean, it's possible. I mean, the Bengals look great. The Bengals looked really good in that game.
And-
I mean, on all areas of the ball, they look great.
Everyone
They
was
look- they look
complimenting-
ready to play.
everyone was complimenting Joe Burrow too, and don't get me wrong, I think he played all right, but I think Joe Mixon deserves way more kudos for that game. 'Cause that dude,
it was a snow game, so yeah, the running back's gonna get.
no, but he looked really good. It wasn't that he was just getting the ball because they were throwing the ball still.
I mean, he did run the ball like 20 times.
But what did he
Yeah, but
average?
I
Telling
think
you.
George mentioned it. I think the
Five yards.
defense should also be very much
Graham,
praised
that
for that.
Graham doesn't want to say hi to you.
Hi, James.
What's up, Graham?
You know, just living.
Fair
I can't
enough.
believe the Jets hired Keith Carter.
Oh my gosh.
Neither can I.
I don't
I
know
feel
these-
bad for the O line there.
Yeah, I feel bad for Aaron Rodgers when he's in New York.
I'm excited for Mekhi Becton next year, man.
Who? What?
The big 6'7" boy out of Louisville.
Dude, I don't know any. I need to do my
You
research.
don't know the New York Jets offensive tackles?
No.
Was Becton hurt the whole year?
I think he got
wasn't
hurt in
that-
the preseason. Got
Yeah,
hurt-
okay. I didn't think he
Towards the
played.
end, I think.
At least they're putting grass in there finally, so they can host the World Cup.
Are they?
Graham might be able to help me here a little bit. Didn't y'all draft Des Fitzpatrick?
Yeah,
Why is he on our practice squad now and not playing
Because
football?
we got rid of him because he sucks.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
Titans don't know how to draft, man. The Titans don't know how to draft.
But
Hey,
my point is, if
think
the Steelers know wide receivers when they see them, and so the fact that the Steelers have him makes me think, oh, maybe there's like a little player here.
Yeah, you guys will turn him into a Pro Bowler. So.
I hope that would be beautiful. I think I have his autograph on one of my sports cards, and that's the only reason I want him to do good because I I just have it sitting
I'm just gonna bring this up now because I feel like it.
Okay.
I saw this fun mini game that this fantasy football media company's been playing on TikTok.
Okay.
And what they do is it's like a little grid. So you essentially have to name players. Like it'll be 3 teams across the top, 3 teams on the side. It'll be like, okay, you have to name a player that was Jet and a Raven. Then you got to name a player that was a Saint and a Chief. Pretty cool.
Oh God, I'd be
We
terrible.
could do that. I'd be.
I'm
No,
not
we-
saying we have to do it right now. It's just
I think
fun.
the podcast needs to sit down for an hour on Twitch and just play was it Weddle or Waddle? It's the Wordle.
Oh yes, dude.
The Wordle.
I love Weddle.
Weddle, but the boys play Weddle for an hour.
Steve,
Absolutely love
George,
Weddle.
George knows all
Here's
the
the
old
example.
linemen, so
You see how it's like a grid?
Oh,
yeah.
Chief, and then a Charger and a Stanford.
No, I get that.
I don't
that
know
makes
enough.
sense.
I don't know enough football to do that.
Well, Nair, you'll make the chart.
Well, I want to participate too.
Well, you don't know. You don't know enough, or you don't.
Well, that's what it's, maybe we should pick a task that we can all participate in, George.
Well, you have a fucking sports podcast.
All right, we'll figure it out. Whatever it may
All
be.
right. Anyway, Bengals won the game decisively. They look great. Bills did not look good. I'm kind of interested to see how this Bills team is going to rebound for next year because they were Super Bowl favorite. They're basically going to have the same roster next year too.
See, my thing
it's
is,
gonna-
whereas when we saw Herbert lose, everyone's reaction was like, "Oh, I can't wait for the Herbert revenge season." The Bills just feel defeated.
yeah, it
Diggs,
feels really
especially
good. It
with
feels
this
way
Diggs
different.
drama. Have you seen the Diggs drama post game?
I have, yeah.
Like,
How he
he's-
didn't go in the. He didn't have an interview afterwards, right? Someone had to hold him back.
No, but he was yelling at Josh mid game.
Eli Apple also tweeted a video of that and asked if he needed them or something if he needed to pay for their couples therapy.
That's
Damn.
good.
Eli
for him.
I mean-
Apple put on demon time on Twitter.
He's having.
I
a
mean,
good time.
I will say, it is interesting to see Josh Allen. It's going to be interesting to see Josh Allen year 2 of not having Brian Dable as the OC. Because I think that has mattered a lot this year, at least toward the end of the season.
Sure. I think we
You
can
guys
move
want to
on.
talk about the Niners and
I was
Cowboys?
gonna say, I think we can move on to this next game.
Um,
Not an exciting one. I think people thought this was gonna be a shootout, and it was boring.
I mean, I didn't think you're talking about two of the best defenses in the NFL.
Yeah,
I
but
enjoyed this game.
but
I don't know what
if
you're
we're talking these
about.
two teams, I was under the impression that these were two teams that usually put up 40.
I mean, yeah, they can. But, they're also two of the best defenses in the league. So I thought the game was really entertaining. I thought it was very close.
It was actually a very good game. Very, very close till the end. I got to say, though, you have question marks. Well, first of all, if you're Dallas, you got to make a major change somewhere. They've had the same base structure team for half a decade now, if not longer, and the team's not going to get it done. The Dak-Zeke combo is not going to
They
get
are
it
in
done.
the playoffs.
Yeah, but they don't
can't
win.
in the playoffs. Dak is 2-6 in the playoffs, and both of those wins came in his rookie year.
Well, no, he won this year.
One win came. Oh, so that means he has another win. He must be 3-6.
But that's you won a playoff game. I don't mean to be like
They won
this.
one rookie year? Okay. Oh, they have a bye? Oh, they might have the bye because they made it to the
They've
championship
never
game.
won the-
They've never been to the championship game, I don't think. Have they?
Oh, wow. No, they haven't. I mean, they've
been to
have,
divisional.
but not with Dak.
Well,
They've been
because
to
the Romo year they beat the Lions and made it to the divisional and lost to the Packers.
I actually don't know if Romo's ever made it out of the divisional either.
Romo and Dak
Yeah.
are both 0-4 in the divisional. 0-6.
Yeah, you got to make a change if you're Jerry's world. But San Fran has to worry about their quarterback this week. I love Brock Purdy. I'm on the Brock Purdy train, right? But I love him because it's cool that he was the last pick in the draft and doing well
I
right
love
now.
him because he's
He's
very
the
clearly
obvious-
not making mistakes and winning games.
He's the obvious weak point of the football team.
I mean,
And-
yeah.
The San Francisco's no weak points besides quarterback.
Yeah.
They are strong everywhere else.
It's because their
The
quarterbacks
Eagles
are
are-
injured.
And I don't. I'm talking for this game. I guess I'm getting ahead of myself.
George, it is very hard this late in the season when you have a first and second string quarterback go down to have a veteran option.
No, I'm not saying like they should not be starting Brock Purdy. They absolutely should. What I'm saying is, if the Eagles have two brain cells, which I'm under the impression they do, they know the weakness is Brock Purdy, and they're going to attack it. And the San Francisco's weakness just happens to be the most influential position on a football field.
But that's my point. I don't think you're changing anybody's game plan. What do you mean? They're going to rush the
Oh,
quarterback?
you're going to rush them. Yeah. I'm rushing more than I usually rush on a rookie
How much do
quarterback
they
in the
usually rush,
NFC
though? From my
Championship.
understanding, I feel like I watched
I don't
them
have
terror. I mean, that could just be because of the Giants' O-line. But
I mean, we're getting ahead of
Hey,
ourselves.
Hey,
But
we're
like,
bringing our resident Eagles expert in.
I will say that we do have the highest rush percentage like in the NFL this season, tied with the Cowboys.
yeah.
So we're going to be running basically the same defensive scheme that they ran on Brock Purdy, and it stifled him to 19 points. So I'm sure it's going to work.
yeah, but they had the ball at the end of the game, right? So they theoretically could have had more points. So like, I mean, that's like a fake 19 to me.
Had the
No, the
ball.
Cowboys
You
had the
don't
ball
remember
at the
that
end of the
last
game.
play?
Oh, no,
We gotta
I
talk
do
about the
remember.
last play.
Sorry. I'll rephrase. The 49ers didn't try to get a first. They ran the ball 3 times at the end when they could have driven down the field. That was my.
Threw the ball.
They went for
They
it.
threw the ball on 1st and 10 when they got it back.
Yeah.
Wasn't that a RPO? I remember right. I don't think it was like a crazy downfield
The ball
pass.
went in the air and got
They
caught.
stopped the clock because they were trying to get
And
that first.
then the running back went out of bounds, but I think he was just being an idiot. That literally would have ended the game if he didn't go to bounds and he just walked out of bounds.
Whatever. It's been a while since I watched the game. Either way, I think Brock Purdy had his worst game as a pro in this against the Cowboys, and it really wasn't that bad. And I don't know. I still think the 49ers are poised to win that game. But we're not going to that game yet.
Again,
Can we talk about the last play of the Cowboys?
We're gonna talk about the
Because,
last play.
That last play was one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in my life.
no, you don't gotta tell me that. That just feels like Steelers football. It's like, oh, we need 10 yards. We're gonna throw behind the point we need with a defender
They
in
needed
the way.
like 90 yards. But
Touchdown. Yeah, they needed a touchdown.
But that's my
I
but
just don't
it's my
understand
point.
the
It's
plan.
like you need
No, they were
something.
trying to score lateral up, is what they were trying to do.
But you, as a quarterback, you see the defender in front of the guy you're throwing to.
I'm gonna defend Dak here for a second. I'm gonna blame this terrible last play completely on the coaches who designed this. That play was absolutely like Dak's only option was he was throwing that quick slant to Turpin and they were pitching it. That was the play.
Yeah, I agree.
Coaches who designed that designed it with crayons in a kindergarten classroom. First of
No,
all,
yeah.
what is the purpose of having Zeke snap the football? They
That is a
only
great
kept
question.
4 linemen in. You could have just put your center in to snap it, because then Zeke planted his feet side by side and went like this.
It's so you don't have to put it. It's so you have less linemen on the field.
I mean, that actually is the reason. That's a good reason. Anyway,
You don't need a lineman.
It hurt.
Zeke
Because
snaps the ball.
Zeke
The
went
second
like
you
this.
pass it, Zeke's allowed to run down the field
Look at
because
what
it's
he
too
was
far
waiting
down
for,
already. He's not going to
hug.
get a penalty.
Zeke came in looking like he was waiting for a fucking hug from Dre Greenlaw, and Dre Greenlaw fucking acted like he was a bulldoze operator at a freaking California gold mine. Ran his ass over.
George, turn your mic towards you. Yeah.
Dre Geek.
So-
Oh my god.
So much better. I told.
Stick different.
I saw it.
How you angle this thing really matter?
Yes.
Yes,
Why?
George, this is how a microphone works.
It's
What
a
do you mean?
circle.
Oh my god.
Oh my
Oh no.
It has the intake on the back too.
That's not
Why wouldn't it be?
God.
That's getting. I think we found our TikTok for the week. It's a circle.
It's a sphere, guys. It's a sphere.
It's spherical.
Hey, no, I said it's a circle. Let's get that straight.
Yeah, but that's a Drake and Josh.
I didn't.
quote,
I
George.
didn't recognize it being 3-dimensional.
No, the sphere quote
I
is from
do you
Drake
want me
and
to hold it
Josh,
for you?
George. No, that's
I'll
that.
hold it for you.
That works too. No, it was just we literally could barely hear you when you pointed it away
Yeah.
from you.
And then you turned around. It was just incredible.
I
But
was just
no,
so passionate about Dre Greenlaw bulldozing Ezekiel Elliott at center.
no,
You guys
it was.
think- You guys think that
Dumb
was
phone call.
Zeke's first time ever getting on the
Snapping
line?
him.
You think Zeke was a beefy kid growing up? I bet he was.
I
I bet
mean,
in like the third
Yeah,
grade,
but like
Zeke was
even
on the
even
O-line.
beefy kid, I feel like you watch child football nowadays, and like the beefy kids are usually the running backs because they can just not get tackled.
When I played child football, I was on the offensive line for a decade. So
All right,
that's great, dude. That's awesome.
I guess like
All right.
yeah, it all depends. But I mean, we've got one more game this week for our neighborhood watch. Sadly, this will be the last
Sadly.
Duval of the year.
hey, can we give it one more time for
I
the
think we
boys?
could. 1, 2, 3. Duval, but it's not as it doesn't feel as good this week.
Maybe
Give it all around. It doesn't feel as good though.
It's
'Cause
all around. Hold on, I need to go grab my charger. real quick.
Trevor
Y'all keep
Lawrence lost on his Saturday.
He did.
I bet my whole life savings on this. I thought this wasn't supposed to happen.
Sadly, it did.
And it did. You know, honestly, the spread shouldn't have even covered. I
Oh,
feel
it shouldn't
bad
have.
for
I
you.
was very sad about
That was so
Right.
sad. That field goal at the end, that was the first thing my dad said about the game when I got back. He was like, "Can you believe the field goal?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah, we were talking about that."
No,
But
I
again-
mean, I'll give the Chiefs credit though. Mahomes went out for a quarter, and they did not lose any steam at all.
Well,
Chad Henne, baby.
That's what I was gonna
Longest
say.
drive in Chiefs history.
Longest drive in Chiefs history, 98 yards for the tutty. Absolute
Yeah.
beauty of a drive. I don't even know why they put Mahomes in after that. Henny,
Yeah.
listen, I don't get me. Here's my thing with Mahomes. For how much money they put in him, and for how much of the future of the franchise he is, I have no clue how in the world, as a medical staff, you just let Pat Mahomes waddle onto the field when he chooses to. He went. Do you see? He went off the field. He went to get evaluated. They went to like go evaluate him, and they had to go set up some stuff to like do it. And he just like went back on into the game. That's when he went back in. He just ran back out.
Yeah. If
Like-
that's not a playoff game, he doesn't come back in. I agree. But like,
No,
I think
no, but even still, even if it's a playoff game, your backup just went for the longest drive in your franchise's history and looked good doing it. Why are you
Yeah,
putting him in? Why are you risking breaking him? Why are you risking the health of Patrick Mahomes for a single game? It's the same thing. Even if it's a playoff game, I'm of the mentality breaking Patrick Mahomes to win this game doesn't help us the next 3 years.
I mean, I like the I agree. I mean, I like to believe that they evaluated the injury, saw it was nothing insanely serious. Will it hurt to walk on? Yeah, but can it get like any worse? Like, is it like a fracture? No. All right, let's put him back. If he wants to play or if he can play, put him back out there. But he's playing this week. Like, he's still going to be hurt. He's
No,
playing this
see,
week.
like I'm a little different here. So, like for example, Mike Tomlin. I forget what player it was, but we had a player who has like some heart issues with like their blood ox levels, and so when we go to Denver, Mike Tomlin doesn't let him play because of the like elevation difference.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
And so it's not like the guy got cleared by doctors, like he specifically trained to do it. But Mike Tomlin is just like, listen, if you were my kid, we wouldn't be having this talk. Like, it's
Well,
the
I
same.
think that's why Andy Reid took him out of the game at first because he
But no,
obviously
but that's
didn't want to leave.
sure. Even still, even if it's just a sprain, every single play Pat Mahomes plays after that, it extends the time that he can't practice.
I don't know. From what I could tell and how he's been practicing this week, it looks like it actually wasn't that bad of an injury.
No,
And-
no.
And here's the
I'm
reality.
saying retroactively we could look at it like that. I'm saying
I-
in the moment you were not letting him come in after Chad Henne goes 98 yards.
Here's the thing. In the moment, there is a team of doctors that know that dude's worth $500 million to that franchise, and know that if his future was on the line, they wouldn't have let him back in.
Yeah.
Well,
no,
the issue. No, remember. No, my issue is remember he came out. He started to get evaluated. He came back in for 2 plays, and then he went out again, and that's when he went to the locker room.
Yeah.
He came back in a second time before getting evaluated. And as a coach, how do you like? It's like my dad said. As soon as Pat gets on the sideline, I'm taking his helmet, and he's not going in until he gets evaluated. Right? How did Pat Mahomes get back on the field before getting evaluated?
He probably didn't ask anyone and ran back out on the field.
Well, that's what I'm saying. As a coaching staff, you cannot let that happen in the era of Tua hits.
Okay, this is different.
No, but my point is, the same thing could happen.
No, sure, but like again, if it comes out that like Mahomes went on the field without the coaches like realizing it and like waved Henny off, and then like 2 plays later he came out because they like forced him to leave the field. Yeah, like that's not a coaching fault. That's not fault on the coaches. That's a fault on Mahomes for going back out there when the coaches told him not.
It's a fault on the athletic trainers because it's also not the coaches.
Oh yeah,
job.
and I don't mean but my point is you have dedicated staff there that are particularly there to like make sure that doesn't happen, and they let it happen. Like in the era where we have staff members on the sideline to like hold Pete Carroll back to stop him from going over a white line, painted line, you cannot tell me we can't have people to stop injured players from going over that white line.
Well, it's also
I have to imagine it's not a typical issue.
Yeah, I mean it's also possible Mahomes just underplayed the injury to the staff and was like, "Oh yeah, I'm fine, I can go back," and they like were like, "All right, you know."
I got a cool question based off a Niter comment a little bit ago. If you could have one NFL coach be your father, who would it be?
Andy Reid.
Dude, I think Andy Reid might have been my answer.
Dude, I was thinking of Andy
Reid just feels the most like my actual father. I feel like,
Andy Reid seems like a great answer.
Andy Reid was like
my favorite Andy Reid clip is it's the one where he put a cricket noisemaker in Pat Mahomes' room at one training camp, and like he goes over to Kelsey. He's like, "Hey Travis, let's put a bug in Pat's room last night." And then Pat Mahomes, like 30 minutes later, comes over to Travis. He's like, "Were there bugs in your room, man?" He's like, I swear to God, I couldn't find it. There's like a cricket or something in my room. And Travis is just like, you see his face, look at the camera, like. But part of me wanted to say Mike Tomlin because, like, I wish I had some actual discipline in my life. Well, if I wanted to be a successful child, Mike Tomlin. If I wanted to have a fun childhood, Andy Reid.
Did you see the Andy Reid Christmas present from this year?
No.
The Chiefs got him a Christmas present, and it looked like a box of shoes. And he's like, "Oh, thanks, guys." And then he opens the shoebox, and
burger.
it's a fucking cheeseburger.
Yeah,
and he's
burger.
like,
Yeah.
But my second comment is, there's a little bit of an argument for Cliff Kingsbury. I know he just got fired, but he has you could have a really hot stepmom.
True. However, I don't know if you guys do you guys have anything for your favorite teams this week? Do you have any things for your Browns or Commanders? Because I've got a little I've got a little Steelers rumor I think we could talk. But it's more of a thing I think we need to do going forward, so I think I could at least transition us.
My Browns will take about 10 seconds. There's been one trade rumor linked to Hunter Renfrow.
Ooh.
okay.
I like that. I like Hunter.
At least shows me that we are maybe going to trade for a receiver, but I'd rather that receiver be taller, faster, stronger, better catching, and named DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
I don't think you have the capital to trade for DeAndre Hopkins.
James,
Yeah, we do.
You don't have any first round picks for 3 years. You don't have the capital for that.
George is like, we want Deshaun Watson and DeAndre Hopkins and Amari Cooper, and we just want all of them. Nick Chubb, Britton, Kareem Hunt. We just want everybody.
We got Amari Cooper for a 5th round pick, which was the steal of the
George is like, bring in all the top players from every position. We can just afford all of them.
George is like Fred Warner from the Niners. I'll give you guys a 3rd round pick for him. All pro linebacker. He's worth 3rd rounder.
The Cardinals don't have any value in DeAndre. We could get him. I'll give up my 1st round pick 3 years from now for
They
DeAndre.
they don't care about that though. Like they want something sooner. Like why would you trade DeAndre for a first round pick 3 years down the line?
I got
That's a
an idea.
terrible idea.
I got an idea. We'll give them Anthony Schwartz,
Oh,
Tony
yeah.
Fields the second,
Oh,
and a third round pick.
Oh wow, that's a trade right there. That's a trade.
All right. Any
no,
Commanders news?
Oh yeah, there's a little bit. I mean, there's still the Dan Snyder supposed to sell thing. Until that happens, whatever. In the OC search, we interviewed Eric Studsville and Thomas Brown. Eric Studsville was the running backs coach and assistant head coach on the Rams or on the Dolphins. Thomas Brown was the assistant head coach and tight ends coach on the Rams. We interviewed those two this week, and then there are also some rumors that we might be interviewing Greg Roman, and there's rumors we're also going to interview Anthony Lynn from the 49ers after they win or lose next week. So there's that. The only other thing is there was a rumor that we might trade for Derek Carr, but I don't really think there's any substance to it at all. So
Now,
whatever.
y'all are getting Lamar, your favorite, James.
I mean,
Steelers.
that was-
Steelers got a little rumor though. A little
James,
trade
that
I
would
got-
rumor.
require
I saw
someone
the
with
thing.
capital to actually own the team, which Dan Snyder doesn't have, and the new owner won't happen until March. So that wouldn't be able to happen for 3 months.
I saw some real funny stuff, James, yesterday. It was if the Miami Dolphins would have stopped a 2-point conversion in 2019, Joe Burrow would be a Washington Commander right now.
Yeah, that's just true. That's just a factual thing. Yeah, I mean, we won 3 games that year, so if we would have lost another game, it would have also been true. But yeah, no, that was the year. Yeah, I remember that game vividly. Who do we have? I think Dwayne Haskins was quarterbacking that game.
I think he was.
Yeah,
I think
Dwayne
Alex
was.
Smith might have played a little bit. That was his year where
Yeah,
he
no.
got.
Oh no, that was the next year. No,
I-
that year was Alex Smith was recovering and almost dying year.
Oh,
The next
yeah.
year was Alex Smith playing.
Hear me out. I've got 2 trade ideas. One, both have a little rumors around them I've seen online. One is a little more founded, and I'll put that one second. But hear me out. Deontay Johnson in a pick for DeAndre Hopkins.
I mean, okay, that's actually a legitimate trade. That's not George. That's not
There we
George's
go.
trade.
That's what I'm saying. The Steelers
Oh,
have
good.
4 front 80 picks this draft. Give 2, or I think we could get. I want Deontay gone. That's my theory crafting here. I want him out of here. I don't want the Butterfingers anymore. I don't want 85 catches and no touchdowns.
Let me ask this, Snyder.
What?
Why would the Cardinals want to downgrade from DeAndre Hopkins to Deontay Johnson?
Drafting more players.
Well, they get a draft pick in the
A
contract.
pick worth downgrading a Hall of Fame wide receiver to a dude who can't catch the ball?
Well, there's also the contract part of it. I think the
There's
Cardinals
also
wanna move off
there's
the
also a
contract.
large amount of people that think he can catch the ball, George. First off, I'm just not one of them, and we aren't maybe, but there's not a large get chop Deontay Johnson presence in Pittsburgh right now. Everyone views him as the consistent WR1, and I want him gone.
Yeah, I think he is.
WR1 that plays 16 games and can't catch a touchdown.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want it. I don't want it. But more realistically, I've seen us potentially. I think this is a position we need to drop a couple guys at anyways. I think Akello Witherspoon needs to be gone. I think, what was it, KJ3? I forget his initials. That other guy needs to be gone. Our 2 guys that have been trash all year. I think we need to pick us up a real cornerback. Get me Jalen Ramsey for the Steelers. That's a jersey I'll purchase myself and look nice wearing, because that's going to be a nice, gritty Steelers kind of player. It gives vibes of the Minka trade, and I think we could do it again.
Yeah, but I feel like if you do when you trade for Minka, he was still on his rookie deal. I think if you're trading for Ramsey, you're kind of basically saying you think the team's good enough to make a playoff run next year. And I don't know if you guys are. Might be.
Hey, Mike Tomlin hasn't had a losing season, and we were 1 Jets win away from being in the playoffs this year with TJ Watt being out half the season. So what I want to say is I'm all in on the Steelers. I think Kenny Pickett. Let's look at you want to look since week 12 at the top 3 ranked quarterbacks in the NFL? QBR? Joe Burrow,
I mean,
Trevor Lawrence, Kenny Pickett.
That's great, man. That's cool. That's a nice cherry picked stat. I like that.
No, my point is he's gotten better as the game has gone.
No, I think he's gotten better. I'm just saying I don't
Your
know
schedule got easier.
There's that too. I just don't know if your team is ready for a deep playoff run with Kenny Pickett in his second season. That's my with a bad O-line.
I don't think we're ready with the roster we have. I think if we get one weapon on offense, I think if we can get an offensive weapon, if we could get a corner, an offensive weapon, and draft some linemen, I disagree with you. And
that's a lot. That's a lot to do.
It's a lot to do, but you know what the Steelers have a lot of? Early picks in this draft this year.
I mean, fair enough.
That's
yeah.
And I think we have players we want to trade anyways. Again, Witherspoon I think should be gone. There's that other guy, Johnson. It's like I forget his. It's like not Deontay, but I mean Deontay's great if we keep him, but I think like you need to get rid of like Oshevsky. We don't need 7 guys running a jet sweep. Connor Hayward, I think we keep, but I think we need to get rid of Derek Watt. I think.
Whoa!
I think
team captain.
He's great guy. Love him.
There's guys you keep because they're locker room guys.
My point is, we don't need to be paying Derek Watt the money we're paying him for doing something that Najee could do.
You pay Derek Watt a veteran minimum.
But my point is, it's a place like Najee could just do what Derek Watt does, right?
Block?
No, because he doesn't even do that. Derek Watt doesn't block. Derek Watt comes in.
Fullback.
Yeah, and have you seen how the Steelers use him? Derek Watt comes in, maybe special teams, I think, but he comes in to literally like run it in from the 1-yard line.
Anyways, I just saw something kind of crazy, not to off-track us.
No worries.
It was a graphic of Jalen Hurts next to Brock Purdy, just like being like, oh, who do you guys have in this game? And I was like, can y'all imagine the Vegas odds on seeing that graphic this week at the beginning of the season? The Jalen Hurts versus Brock Purdy graphic for the NFC Championship game. Why aren't y'all talking?
Listen, I'm telling
James is MIA.
Yeah, my office manager texted me, so I was looking at something. But what I can tell you, I agree. Like, it's Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, being there. Sure, not probable. I also, I'm going to be honest, everyone was confident, and everyone likes Jalen Hurts. I don't know if he's going to be able to, reproduce a season like this.
Steve, what do you think about that?
We're going back-to-back.
He hasn't even won one yet, and he's saying they're going back-to-back.
I like to be listen, I said I'm the only one on this podcast that said the Eagles are going to be in the Super Bowl.
I at the beginning of the playoffs predicted Bengals 49ers.
Yep. I said Chiefs Eagles.
Yeah, I said Bills 49ers. So.
I'm telling you, I'm the only one that said the Eagles.
The
on paper, I understand the Eagles. It's just like every time I watch them, I feel like they don't make me feel like they're great. Even when they're winning 38-7, it's like.
Are you talking about the 49ers?
No, the Eagles. I just felt like the Giants looked bad more than like the Eagles looked great. Like, don't get me wrong, they look good. I just I'm down on the Giants, I think. Whatever it may be, though, I think, there's not going to be a lot of news for our teams until we actually start making some real moves. I think it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, in the next week or two, Washington should have a new OC, so that'll be interesting. But
is Bezos actually on your team, or was that
the
just a
Washington
meme?
Prime?
Was that a meme?
Hey, the Washington Primals, but the thing about him selling the New York Post or the Washington Post, that's just a rumor. like there's no actual like evidence behind that. It's just a lot of people speculating. So I mean, there's still a chance he can make a bid and sell the Washington Post. Both of those things could still happen, but there's not any actual evidence saying he'll do either of those things. So
How funny would it be if Bezos tanked Amazon just to buy Washington?
I mean, I don't know if you're really tanking Amazon, but
If he
it's just kind of hard.
sold a bunch of his Amazon share, that'd fuck a lot of stuff up. A source is MG Stock Talks on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
That's a
MG
really good
Stock
post
Talks
there.
followed us on Twitter the other day. I don't think we should be disrespecting our followers like that, George.
I mean, I made him follow us.
He's
but-
like 10% of our follower base. More than 10%.
Just 10% of our followers.
No, do you see we actually got another follower, like another random
I know.
guy?
Dude, we've been tweeting like 30 times a day. We'll eventually get a few followers, right? Like,
Dude, I put out a lot of tweets today, and they've got no interaction.
dude, you need to like just the big thing about Twitter is like being there when like they actually tweet. So like I've
Oh
said,
yeah, for sports you have to live tweet.
and so that like I have notifications on for like the NFL, ESPN, and Sports Center, and like literally if it's anything I think we could tweet about, I do.
Like I've tweeted. I want to count how many times I've tweeted throughout the day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Let's just put it this way: we went from having like one tweet the other day to like 72. Said
That's a good point.
we started tweeting for real. When was it on the Chiefs game? So like about a week.
Yeah, we
ago.
did do that.
We've almost put
But,
up about 100 tweets this week, and I think we could hit that today if we really try hard enough.
I mean, you probably could pretty easily, but
All right.
do you guys want to move on to the?
Let's move on.
Yeah, I was gonna say we've got some actual breaking news.
Head coach hiring.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know this guy. I don't know coaches.
He was just the head coach in Indianapolis.
I don't
Yeah,
care.
he was.
I don't care about coaches, George. The only coach I care about is Matt Canada and him getting gone.
Well, that's not happening.
I know.
But
That's why I don't care.
George, what do you think about the hiring? Because I have some thoughts. What do you think?
I like it. I was originally sad the second I found out. My first thought was, man, they didn't give Wilkes the job. I mean, I thought Wilkes did a good job back half of the year out there in Carolina. So everyone knows Frank Reich's going to Carolina. I think Frank Reich, if not anything else, is a very well-respected NFL head coach. You could say what you want about his time in Indianapolis. You could blame it on Frank Reich, or you could blame it on Irsay. I'm not 100% sure, but
Andrew Luck.
AB blames Andrew Luck, which might be valid.
Well, when Frank Reich took the job, he was
Your
expecting
franchise
Andrew Luck to
quarterback
be there.
retiring in the preseason is not usually optimal. Anyways, Carolina's I think it's a club that's going to be good in the next few years for a couple reasons. I mean, first of all, they got that young defense with Burns,
J.C. Horn,
J.C. Horn, Brown,
Thompson.
Jack Thompson. Dude, they got a nice defense over there. I think their biggest obvious glaring hole is quarterback. I would not be surprised if you see Carolina go quarterback in the first round of this year's draft and even trade up. I think if you add a quarterback to that young team, you're going to be looking at a talented roster, especially defensively, in a bad division, especially if Tom Brady dips out of Tampa. That division's wide open. And this is a good, young, talented roster with a well-respected and experienced head coach. So, preliminarily, I'm going to predict Carolina to win the NFC South next year. Put it out there right now.
I don't know if they'll go as far as saying they'll win the South next year because I want to see how the offseason shakes out for all the other teams. But no, I
gotta see what Brady does.
again? Who's in that division again?
Saints, Falcons, Buccaneers, Panthers.
I mean, they could win it.
That's
They
a
could.
really
It's-
bad division.
Exactly.
No, but I definitely agree with George that I think the hire is good. I'm just of the mindset now that if you're hiring a new head coach, you like unless the defensive guy just wows you, you got to go offense because this is a quarterback driven league. You know, you want your head coach to be able to work with your quarterback and work with them well. Because like if you're relying on your OC, you know, if you have a good OC and you're relying on him, he's probably going to get taken by someone else. So I am of the mindset you probably need an offensive head coach, which Frank Reich isn't. You know, aside from his last 2 years, this year and then, last year in Indianapolis, I think he did a pretty good job overall. And I think the advantage he'll have this year, like you were saying, George, is that he's going to get a chance to draft his quarterback and kind of put his luck, push his money in the pot toward whatever QB he wants.
If Carolina doesn't get their quarterback this year in the first round, I'm going to be questioning every member of that front office.
Well,
I think it's a great chance
if they don't do it, this year or next year. If they don't do it this year or next year, I can understand.
You just brought your head coach in. You have a higher draft pick. Again, I think this team could be competing to win that division next year. You got a new head coach. Let him come get his guy and let him work.
No, that's what I'm saying. Though, what I'm saying is I'm not. If you see your guy there, or if you have the chance to trade up for him, you do it, right? Or if you can draft him in your position, you do it. If you can't, then don't reach for a guy you're not sure of. The next QB class is also supposed to be good. So I'm saying if he doesn't do it this year, he has to do it next year.
Yeah, but I'm saying, barring he doesn't like any of the guys, if any of those guys is your guy, you get on the phone with the Bears and you give them whatever you have to get that pick.
I mean, I think there's an argument that could be made that he could draft. I mean, they could trade back and draft the dude out of Florida.
If that's your guy, do it. But
because I think you
give
have
up whatever you have
to
to
Sam
get your
Darnold, and you could have isn't it? It's Richardson, right? That's Anthony Richardson, isn't that?
15 baby, Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a scenario where Carolina could trade back, draft Anthony Richardson, have Sam Darnold start for another 2 years, and then put him out there. I think that's a real possibility. But
yeah, if that's your guy, do it. But you do whatever. If you're the Carolina Panthers front office, you give up whatever capital you have to get Frank Reich's guy.
No, yeah, and to be honest, if the Panthers are bad next year, say they pick Levis at 9, and they start him and he's bad, he's like a Josh Rosen, right? And they have a top 2 pick, maybe top pick next year. You fucking just draft another dude. You got to get it right within the first 2 years. You got to give yourself a chance. So as long as they do that, I think they have a good possibility of, having this be a sustainable staff there for a little while.
I'm doing the honors, and I'm pulling up Eli Apple's Twitter account.
Listen.
All right.
Listen. In the era of people claiming that Damar Hamlin wasn't even at the game, I think we're getting mighty suspicious about Eli Apple. And I think we're making some mighty stretches about Eli Apple. Is he the Pat Beverly of the NFL? Yes. Is he? I don't know if he needs this negative of a response. Let's hear the tweets, George. Let's hear the tweets.
Eli Apple's tweets. First thing he tweets is, I gotta get to the bottom of it. Well, first thing he does is retweet Stefon Diggs, all Stefon Diggs tweets about Stefon Diggs ranting about them losing and stuff. And then probably the most controversial tweet was when he quote retweeted one of Stefon Diggs losing it tweets and said Cancun on 3 with the Damar Hamlin heart hands.
What do you mean you don't get to call it that?
That's what it was referenced. Almost undeniably.
I don't.
Did Eli Apple say he was referencing it?
No, because afterwards he denied it. He said no. It's just
he has
all love.
denied it. He had 100,000 likes and he's been criticized by every media outlet.
He didn't deny it. He apologized.
Yeah, he didn't deny it. He apologized for it.
Oh, okay. All right.
Anyways,
no, he specifically said in his apology that he never was saying anything bad about Damar, or was ever critiqued. He wasn't playing on it.
He was.
He says he wasn't, and I don't think he was.
He's gonna say he wasn't. Anyway, don't worry. There's more tweets. And he tweets Diggs in the playoffs, and it's this Trump video.
Turn them off. They're too bright. Turn them off. Let's go. Ready? Turn off the lights. Turn off the lights. Turn off the lights.
This is big.
Then he tweets Arrowhead with the marker point. Then he tweets the video of Josh Allen and Stefon Diggs getting in a fight on the sideline and said, "Someone get them in couples therapy at Josh Allen QB at Stefon Diggs."
This is beautiful. This is beautiful. I'm liking this more and more. I'm liking Eli Apple more after this this encounter.
I mean, all I'm gonna say, like,
Oh, and then he said, and then his mom tweeted, "Tickets to the AFC Championship game is way too expensive." Someone replies and says, "Tell Eli Apple to pay for it." Eli Apple says, "Mama can watch from the crib." And then someone says, "While you're not paying for shit, be sure to send your mom to KC with this time." And he said, "Mama still can't go to KC."
oh my
And then
god.
Stephon Diggs replied to Eli Apple that said he was clout chasing, and Eli Apple replied, "Safe travels to Cabo, fam." And Shaq Lawson said, "You played a good game, Eli Apple, but disrespect my boy Hamlin Island situation. That shit get you beat up for real, for real. Keep it on the field." He said, Eli Apple responds by saying, "A shame you couldn't keep that same energy on the field. Maybe the outcome would have been different. Enjoy Mexico with the homies."
All this after having one pass.
Again, I don't think there's much to talk about here. I think we're just reading Eli Apple tweets on the podcast.
No, I mean, all
Yeah,
I'll
been
say-
entertaining.
No, I mean, I like it. You know, he's probably referencing the DeMar Hamlin thing. I think that's poor taste.
I don't
Not great
think
on
so.
Eli Apple. But
Dude, he was so
okay.
referencing the DeMar Hamlin
He's
thing.
just
If
saying
you
all
don't
love.
think so, if
It's
you
saying
don't
it's the
think so,
same
that's
thing as
fine.
it gives
He
me the
was
same.
not trying to
It-
say all love to the Bills.
You don't say have fun. Like it's the same thing as what did he say about in Cabo? What did he say there? It's like safe travels. Like it's being nice. That it's a ironic being nice.
Yeah, it was an ironic being nice, and he
It's
used
my
DeMar
point is
Hamlin heart.
Cancun on 3 all love is the same kind of comment as safe travels to Cabo. It's the same exact comment.
Except he used the hands that DeMar's been like using all over.
You
social
don't
media.
get to trademark making a heart with your hands, George. Just like you guys don't get to trademark the word "the."
Oh,
No.
that passed.
Yeah, that's a pass.
Okay,
You have to trademark on the
listen.
word "the" now.
Let me listen. Whether or not it actually happens legally is whether or not I don't think it should pass. I still disagree with it. You know what? We can go on about stuff that's legal in the United States that I don't think should be legal. But
No, I mean, either way, though, I think Eli Apple should be very prepared if he has a bad game against Kansas City. That dude is going to be
But
in
also,
for a lot
Send your mom
of
to the
shit.
damn game, bro.
Well, that's also kind of fucked up, but...
Mama can watch from the crib.
He said,
Mama can watch from the crib.
All right, anyway, all right.
That's a-
You guys
that's a
wanna move on
baseline.
to George's segment that he wanted to do?
Yeah, here you go, George.
Yeah, I'm talking about this. Who has the best? When I'm talking skill room, I'm talking receivers, tight ends, running backs.
Okay. Do you
Who has
want?
the best skill room left in the playoffs?
So do you want to go bottom to top, like each of us, or do you how do you want to do it?
Here's how we can work this out. I think we all agree it's not the Chiefs, right?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, I agree it's not the Chiefs. Do you agree with that, Nider?
Snyder, do you think it's not the Chiefs?
I would
Why don't we
eliminate
rank?
someone
Why don't we
else
just
first.
why don't we rank them from the bottom up, each of us,
Well,
and then we
I'm
can
thinking
talk
if
about.
we all think it's someone else, we could just start arguing. You know
No,
what
I
mean?
think we
Okay,
can
well,
all-
I think the Chiefs are. I think the Chiefs are last in terms they're 4. George agrees. Snyder, who do you think is 4?
Let me think. So we've got the Chiefs, we've got the Eagles, we've got the Niners, we've got the Bengals. This is going to be very controversial.
Yeah. I know who I got.
I think I'm eliminating the Niners first.
What?
Yeah.
The Niners are my
Bro,
number
what?
one.
Nope.
The Niners are my one.
I'm going to be honest. Kittle, good player. I respect Kittle.
Second best tight end in the league right now, and it's not a question.
In
What
what?
do you say, Pat Fryermuth?
I would you like to look at the numbers?
Oh my
George
god.
Kittle in the last 2 months has been playing maybe better than Kelsey.
Okay, yeah, I will agree. Especially in terms of passing, Pat Fryermuth the last couple weeks has been silent.
Yeah, because he's been sitting at home.
well, I mean, like the last couple weeks of our season, like even was silent because of that. Like we've not been throwing it to him as of late. I am willing to bet Pat Fryermuth has. I think Pat Fryermuth is the second. There's going to be no debate about this next year. That I think Pat
Fryermuth.
But we don't need to talk. We're not talking about Fryermuth. Listen, I think the Chiefs have shown it doesn't matter who they have there in their skill room. I'm not talking just talent of the players because you got to include the playmaking.
The question who has the best skill room?
No, because if you're talking about the players, you also got to think about the puppeteer in the back who's telling them all where to go. That is part of the skill room. That's who trains them.
Bro, I defined the skill room before this debate began.
And I'm telling you how I'm telling you how I'm looking at it, George. I'm telling you how I'm looking at it. And I would rather have Travis Kelce over any player that's remaining in the playoff right now.
All right, that's fine.
Not a player.
And my point is, Travis Kelce could, in a skill room battle, I think is more skilled than any other player on this roster. I'm not big on Debo. I'm not big on Christian. That's why I put the Niners here.
Big on Debo and Christian.
I think Debo's shown he's going to break, especially the way they're using him. I think Christian is going to break again. I don't think we need to talk about me worrying about Christian breaking because he does it every year.
He didn't do it this year.
I thought he did at the beginning.
I was a finalist for comeback player of the year.
He also, but my point is, I don't. If we're talking skill rooms and what I want, again, I think there are too many question marks in the injury category there.
You want your best receivers to be Juju Smith-Schuster and Kadarius Toney over Deebo Samuel?
Listen. It's the same thing as the Steelers. Yes, Deontay Johnson, George Pickens, and like Chase Claypool didn't sound like the scariest. They're not. But
and it wasn't.
It wasn't. My point is, Juju Smith-Schuster is good. He's not clutch. I spent my whole last so many years watching him. He's a good receiver. Kadarius Toney is good. He is a solid player. I'd trade anyone but Pickens on our receiver line for him right now. I like Toney. Travis Kelce is a god. We don't need to talk about that. I don't even know how to say his name. Valdez Scandling is not a joke either. They have good receivers and a good tight end. The question mark for the Chiefs is their running backs. And
I also think
is it still Clyde? Is it still Edwards-Helaire?
Right now,
oh, it's Bam Pacheco, baby, Isaiah Pacheco.
Oh, and how were we talking about that man watching that game? We said he looked like the best football player on the field. So if you're asking me to pick a skill room to eliminate first, it is not the Chiefs. It is not. Because when you were watching the Chiefs, you said Pacheco looked like the best player on the field, the player giving it the most, George.
No, I'm not play.
No, we've said more than one play. We were complimenting him for a while.
I mean, Pacheco runs hard. He's not
but that's my point. You can talk skill room all you want. I'm eliminating the Niners first. That's where I'm at.
No way, dude.
I think that's a terrible take, but all right, man.
They're gonna break. Bro, don't give me patched up tires. I want a vehicle that's gonna carry me all the way.
2 games left in the season.
Yeah, and what happens? You know how you said, George, the weak point of the Niners is their quarterback.
Yeah,
who are the other? What happens when Christian McCaffrey tears an ACL this week?
Oh, he's putting some bad juju out there.
Dude, you're putting some real bad juju out there. They got Elijah Mitchell, too, who's better than half the running backs left in the playoffs.
But my point...
Elijah Mitchell's very good.
I'm not saying he's not. My point
Elijah Mitchell's better than Isaiah Pacheco.
I think... Let me put it this way. I think Debo and I think McCaffrey are both prone to hurt. If they don't have both of those players, are you still taking...
We have 2 games left in the year.
Or if they don't have those players... Yeah, but we're not talking just
for they have them! They're playing this week, and they played last week, and they played the week before.
Yeah, my point is, George, we're talking what we want in the skill room overall.
I'm talking about the remaining skill rooms in the playoffs.
Yeah, and like if we're talking things that happened, like we wouldn't be talking about Pat Mahomes getting injured too either. But what that
He's
happened?
injured in the playoffs.
That's my point, George. Are you saying it's
No, it's
impossible?
not your point.
Hey, George, can Christian McCaffrey get injured in the playoffs?
Yes.
All right, then why am I not allowed to
He's
fucking
made
talk
the
about
whole
it?
Season, the fact that he's made the whole season playing, and there's 2 games left. The fact that you're predicting an ACL tear is just unreasonable.
In their present.
No,
Yeah.
let me tell you why it's not unreasonable. Have you watched?
Let me rephrase the prompt for Uniter. Barring injuries, who has the best skill room left in the playoffs?
Just give your answer and I'll just give mine. And we
I
can
mean,
move
again,
on.
I'm not changing my answer.
No, who do you think is the best?
Oh, the best?
There's a right answer.
I'm forgetting a team.
There's the Bengals.
Oh,
Eagles,
Bengals.
Chiefs.
Yeah, Bengals.
It's the Bengals. The Bengals is probably the right. I still think it's the 49ers.
I was like, it is the team I'm forgetting. Bengals. Jamar Chase,
No,
T. Higgins,
I like.
Hayden Hurst is playing like a baller. Joe Mixon looks like a god amongst men. Like,
Yeah, no, I like the Honestly, I like the Bengals the most. I think I think just like on paper, who's the best? It's between the Eagles and the Niners, and I think the Niners slightly edge out the Eagles just because I think the difference in running back talent for the Niners is greater than the difference in Eagles talent on the receiving end. Because I think the Eagles have more talented receivers, but I think the Niners have a more talented tight end, and I think the Niners have a more talented running back room. So I think it's close.
who's the tight end for the Eagles
The
now?
Niners running backs are so much better.
Who's the tight end for the Eagles
That's
now?
yeah, I said they're better.
Kittle, I'll take Kittle over Dallas.
Who's the
Goedert.
tight end for the Eagles now? Forget.
Dallas Goddard.
I will
That dude's a
take Kittle
baller
over
still.
Dallas Goedert every day of the week and twice on Sundays.
Dallas Goedert,
Yeah, I think I do like the skill room of the Bengals the most. Though, like they're not like the most talented
See,
on paper, but
it's
like
between-
I think Hayden Hurst
it's
and
between-
Pirine and Mixon play really hard.
It's between the Eagles and the Bengals for me for first. Goes.
I cannot believe it.
I would agree.
It's the 49ers, guys.
Dude, I'm even if we're not talking injury, I'm not big on Debo.
Dude, Debo's so good. Oh my god, Debo's so good.
Debo is really good, but anyway, since this conversation is going nowhere, you
I
guys
think
want to move on to
Debo.
the
I think
awards.
Debo is so good is the same level of conversation as Lamar is so good.
No, I definitely disagree with that. I think Debo is
Because
really good.
I think we could talk like on paper. Sure, they both like look good consistently, but I think
Fucking coach.
overall game impact, I think like again, I'd rather not have them.
I mean, all right, that's fine.
Fucking
You
That's
guys
just my
want to
view.
have
The right,
this
answer,
conversation?
the right answer is the Bengals, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you, George.
If you want an objective
No,
answer, it's probably the Bengals. The Bengals are probably the
No,
most.
The question mark for the Bengals is their tight end, and look at Hayden Hurst last game. That's all you need to say.
I think Joe Mixon's also like hot and cold. Like Joe Mixon isn't consistent, which is like I think the Bengals like I like their skill room the most, but I think like if you
Yo,
look on
Mixon's a
paper,
dog.
bro, he's had some bad games.
DAWG dog.
I've seen my man play real bad.
Yeah,
too.
no, Joe Mixon can play bad. I agree with you, James, but a lot of
Anyone
players. Yeah, anyone can. Yeah, no.
Yeah, but I'm saying like yes, I know any player can play good or bad. My point is I've seen like the
Who's the
disparity
best
is a lot.
Best
What?
running back. Best running back left is McCaffrey,
Yeah, I'd agree.
and then I think it goes McCaffrey, Mixon, Sanders, Pacheco.
No, I see. Like I'm taking Sanders first.
But dude, I could put. I
Sanders
mean, look at.
one?
I might put Elijah Mitchell above
Over
Sanders. And
McCaffrey?
No, it would go Sanders, McCaffrey, Mitchell, or Mixon.
What?
Mixon. Sanders, McCaffrey, Mixon.
How are
Again,
you taking Sanders one, dude?
again, I just like I like.
Walmart. That's Walmart Saquon.
Dude. I think Walmart Saquon's better than a rickety McCaffrey.
God, he hasn't been injured all year.
dude, there's only so many injuries you can have before I'm like.
He's literally a finalist for the award that's I haven't been injured this year and I was injured last year.
That's great.
All right,
I mean, we
Jalen,
can get to the awards. We can go to the awards now if we want to do that. Do we want to?
Yes.
Was that yes? I didn't get.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Would you want me to start with the MVP?
Yeah,
Or do you want me to like?
Where do we want to end with it? We want to end with it or start with it?
Well, I can go from. We'll go from the bottom up. So we'll start with the AP Assistant Coach of the Year. The finalists for that are Ben Johnson, the Lions OC, D'Amico Ryans, the 49ers defensive coordinator, and then Steve, how do you pronounce the name of your Eagles OC?
Shane.
Steichen. Okay, all right. Steichen,
Yeah,
all right.
the right answer is D'Amico Ryans.
Yeah, I would agree. I low key think Shane Steichen might win it, but I think D'Amico Ryans should win it.
I don't know these people.
All right.
All right. All right, we got the AP Coach of the Year award. We got Brian Dable of the Giants, Sean McDermott of the
Nope.
Bills, Doug Peterson of the Jaguars,
Nope.
Kyle Shanahan of the 49ers,
Nope.
and Nick Sirianni.
The correct
of the
answer
Eagles.
isn't on this list.
Dude, we're rocking
The correct-
with Dougie P. Duval.
The correct answer
mean,
is
the
Mike
cor-
Tomlin. It will be
No,
every
it is
year.
not.
The correct answer.
Dougie P. took a Urban Meyer's Jaguars team that was drafted #1 overall and just took them to the freaking
Listen,
playoffs.
you show
Yeah,
me
Kyle-
another coach
Kyle Shanahan
who has
is
positive
amazing.
Vegas odds to have a winning season at 2-6, and I'll show you a coach that should have.
James, what do you
I mean, I think it should be Kyle Shanahan because Doug Peterson's or Brian Dable are second, but Shanahan took a team with a third string QB to have I think the third best offense in the league.
roster in the NFL to the playoffs. Oh.
Yeah, with a third string QB, dude. Like that roster with a lot of third string QBs might not be great. I've seen a lot of third string QBs play, and he is getting a lot out of Purdy. That's coaching.
I agree with you that Shanahan did great this year, but Doug Peterson took the team drafting.
Oh yeah,
#1
and all
overall
realistic to
the
give me
playoffs.
Dougie, but that's just because I'm a Jaguars fan now.
Yeah, but Dougie also has the #1 pick of that year. Like, he has 2 #1 picks. One of them is a QB, which is the most important position.
I will point. It's an
It's
interesting.
a
This is another
historically
interesting quote that I think
terrible
I'd like to bring. Did you see the Bills? I forget which coach it was after the game when they were asked about talent differences on the receiver.
That was their
room.
GM. That was
Yeah.
their GM.
Yeah, it was their.
He said, "I don't want to be bad enough.
I don't want to suck that bad to get a Jamar Chase. Is what he said. He's like,
I thought that was kind of fire.
I did too. I was
mean-
like, dude, he said it. It's like, dude, you can brag about having those players, but to get a Joe Burrow and a Jamar Chase like that, you have to suck bad for a while. Like,
Oh no. When Washington played the Steelers 2 years ago, in that undefeated game, before the game, Tomlin was talking to Chase Young and was like, "Brother, I never want to be bad enough to draft a guy like you."
yeah, no, that's Tomlin. That's Tomlin's thing. Like, he'll never have a first pick in the NFL draft unless he trades for it. Ever.
The Bill Cowher team. And won a Super Bowl 2 years later and didn't do shit since.
They've won every year since. That's what they've done.
They've gone 9-8.
Well, 9.
Hey, wait, who's your team again? Let me ask you again. Hey, how many games have you had since you were born that you've been out of playoff contention? Because I can tell you how many I've had since Mike Tomlin's been coach. It's 1. That's called playing reasonable.
That's called lifetime.
That's
mediocrity.
called playing meaningful football and always being in it. And if your coach can't always get you in it, I mean, that sucks to be your coach. But Mike Tomlin's always in it.
Okay, you know, Nider, none of us sit here and say the Browns have been good. We're just
Yeah, but
saying
I
the
don't
Steelers
know.
haven't been.
I think when you as a Browns fan make fun of the Steelers head coach, I don't know.
Yeah,
I think
that's
kinda-
what I'm saying. You have no room to say Mike Tomlin is a bad
No.
coach.
It's like, no, it's like I can make fun of you for thinking you're better than you are. I'm not sitting here and saying I'm good.
I think
George,
you
there
are
was-
when you're.
there were
I
many-
think
there
you're.
were many group
I
chats
think
where
you
we were talking
innately
about the
are,
Browns as Super
George.
Bowl, dude.
If you think Mike Tomlin is bad, I think there is an innate.
Mike Tomlin is lifetime mediocrity.
If you believe that statement to be true, I believe you are clinically insane and fundamentally out of touch with the reality of football.
Listen, I've seen generations of mediocrity. That's Washington for my entire
Yeah.
lifetime is mediocrity. That's what my team is.
Y'all are with us.
Like, we're in like, arguably we're in a worse place than you because you guys were you guys were drafting top of the draft every year. We never did except for like one time or two times because we traded for it once and did another time. And when you do that, you always are just good enough to win a few games, but you're never good enough to actually rebuild. So yeah, it's not been a great play.
Oh, guys, we got interactions on our tweets.
Listen.
Oh,
Cleveland is
Chiefs
just a
thing
factory
together.
of sadness all the way around.
All right.
You can't
But
have the name of your baseball team. You can't have LeBron James. You can't have a winning football season. Like, there's just all these things you can't have, and I understand it will make you grumpy. Like, again, I understand I'm probably privileged to be the Steelers fan.
Hey guys, we got breaking news.
Oh, goodness.
So what's the breaking news?
Basketball breaking news. The NBA All-Star starters have just been announced.
There we go.
Okay.
Is
Yeah, all right.
I think every single All-Star should be Andre Drummond. Every single one. Every position. Both divisions.
In the West, to no one's surprise, team captain LeBron James.
Brown names.
At guards, Luka Doncic. And
Steph.
Doncic.
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 What do you say?
Doncic.
Doncic. That's
There you
weird.
go.
There's not that ch sound in Greek. And the other guard, Stephon Curry.
Yeah, that's predictable. He got ejected the other night. I can't
forward.
believe that.
Well, I guess one of the forward is LeBron. The other forward is Zion Williams.
Yeah.
And then manning it down low is
Nikola. Yeah.
Go.
That's just easy. That's you don't gotta have a brain to predict them.
Then
Did DeMar make it?
they just announced the starters.
Okay. Well, that's what I'm hoping.
In the East,
Well, it would be over here.
captain and forward, Giannis
Giannis?
Antetokounmpo.
I don't even need to look at this.
At guards, Kyrie Irving.
No way.
Cleveland Cavaliers' own Spida Donovan Mitchell.
That's actually crazy because he's just been injured for a while. I'm surprised he.
Kyrie's been playing this year.
No, Spida. He just came off
He's not
injury.
injured.
He
Yeah,
was.
I mean, he had a groin injury. For
Yeah, he misses a game here.
Oh, I just heard about an injury. I didn't know. I didn't know how long it was.
Steve is a little bit, yes. Maybe he's throwing his 2 cents in. At forward, Jason Tatum, and then they don't really have a true center on this lineup, but Kevin Durant, starter. Kevin Durant did not get captain's honors this year.
Dude, Kevin Durant's gonna make Nikola Jokic look like a fool if they play man, though. Kevin Durant is going to shoot all over in the mid range.
What's Bryce doing in the game?
I
I don't care.
All right, are we just gonna stop the awards?
Well,
and
no,
go
I
on
think we
to
can keep going. What's the next
Yeah.
award?
picking the games next week?
Yeah.
It's Snyder's favorite. It's AP Comeback of the Year award. We got Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey, and Geno Smith.
Geno Smith.
Geno
All day-
Smith.
Geno Smith.
Sure.
Geno Smith all the
Dude,
way.
Geno Smith is the comeback player of the decade.
Oh yeah, dude has earned that shit.
That's
Well, the reason you pick Geno Smith is because you have no way to distinguish between Barkley and McCaffrey.
Well, no, you picked Geno Smith because like the dude literally was relegated to be a backup for the rest of his life and showed he could actually be a starter and made a Pro Bowl. And made a Pro Bowl. Like, dude played some of the best football of his career in.
I think this is
in a year
just
that
sort of a part where
Seattle was supposed to be picking
I
one.
think the narrative took over. I think the Geno Smith story was just too big for any good RB performance to beat.
No, yeah. I mean, it's also tough when you're like a career backup.
What was
and
the
then
Alex
go
Smith
to a
comeback
Pro Bowl.
year? Like he.
Oh,
there-
there was that's when he almost lost his leg.
No, but
Yeah,
my
he
point
earned
is,
that.
I'm not disagreeing that he should have won it, but there was another Steelers comeback that year that I was like, we're just not going to win it because Alex Smith is playing football. Like,
Yeah, no, well, that's like different because again, like Alex Smith was gonna win that just because the dude was supposed to die, or well, almost could have died, and then was supposed to lose his leg, and then didn't lose his leg, and then came back the next year and played. But yeah, I mean, Geno Smith just played
Is
well. He
DeMar
wasn't
gonna get comeback player of the year next year?
I love this dude. That dude's playing football next year.
Is he? Like, that's what I don't know the status of the DeMar. I guess this is a good part to talk about it too. Do we have any updates on DeMar?
I don't believe so. George said he saw a video.
Well,
of
no,
him
but
rehabbing.
this is the confused. I'm trying to look it
That
up on
video was
Twitter.
not him. That video was not him.
No, but I'm looking at stuff on Twitter. I was browsing Twitter too, and apparently the NFL is saying now that DeMar's like on oxygen in the hospital again, like he's not able to walk around. The NFL's saying, but if that's true, how in the world was he at the football game? Like people are saying, like the NFL's adding more fuel to the conspiracy.
I'm done speculating on DeMar.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I kind of am too. All right, we're on Defensive Rookie of the Year award. That's where we are.
Ooh.
We have Sauce Gardner, Aiden Hutchinson, or Tyreek Woolen, who's the cornerback of the Seattle Seahawks.
It's Sauce.
It's Sauce. I don't even know who that Seattle player
Yeah.
is.
Oh, Tariq
No,
Woolen's actually been very good this year.
No, Tyreek Woolen's really
I
good,
haven't
but
watched the
Sauce has been
Seahawks once
better.
this season.
He hasn't been as good as Sauce, so he had a better
Yeah.
first half of the year. But
Sauce
Sauce-
also
You know,
was hurt at the
Sauce
end of
got
the year.
first team All Pro as a rookie.
Yeah, no, dude, Sauce has earned Defensive Rookie
I
of the
credit
Year.
Sauce's injury in that last game to be the reason the Steelers aren't in the playoffs and that they lost that game. Like, the team felt
Very well
different
could've been.
without Sauce.
All right, the next one's kind of interesting. Offensive Rookie of the Year, the finalists are Brock Purdy, Kenneth Walker III, the Seahawks running back, and Garrett Wilson, Jets
Probably
wide
should be
receiver.
Walker.
Nah, I'm going Garrett
I-
Wilson.
I think it should be Purdy.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Well, we actually have three different opinions for once. Wow.
three-way split.
I'm just going on the
Yeah,
stats.
I mean-
I think. Don't get me wrong.
Would you say
My
Ryder
second, I would
Walker?
probably say Purdy second here. I don't know what,
What?
y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Garrett Wilson, man, he's had a hell of a year.
I just don't know.
Instability. He had
I don't know
four
who that
different
is.
dudes complete passes to him this year.
I don't know who that is.
You don't know who
I
Garrett
No.
Wilson is?
No.
I
You
mean,
don't belong
Garrett
on a
Wilson,
sports
Garrett
podcast.
Wilson had a great second half of the year.
I-
But
But
every
I
year,
don't know who he
every-
plays for. Who does he play for?
Jets.
Jets. He's Jets wide receiver.
I'm telling you, like I don't.
He won Gatorade Rookie of the Week. Like, Rookie of the Week.
What Star Wars award are you talking about, George?
Garrett Wilson won the Gatorade. Did I say that? Garrett Wilson won the Gatorade Rookie of the Week like 5 times.
I think he won it 2 or 3 times. I don't think
Again,
it was 5.
I haven't really watched the Jets.
Pull it up.
But again, this is just
I just think Brock Purdy, because this is like a season award, right? Like he played half the year. Every game he played, he looked like one of the best QBs in the league. And he led a team to a second seed.
see that literally
was
the only
about to
reason I
miss the
don't pick
playoffs.
Purdy is because he played half the season.
I messed up.
Yeah, but
because
Kenneth Walker
I
missed
took
like
our
5
sugar
games.
Rookie of the Week.
Yeah, but there's a
games.
difference between like missing a game and being like benched.
Well, he wasn't benched. He didn't get a chance to start. Like you could argue that if he had a chance to start, he might have been better than Trey Lance or Jimmy
Oh,
G.
sure, I agree. But my point is, it didn't happen. Like,
I just think for the 8 games he played
Oh my God, I think
extremely
it was
consistent for 8 games.
2001.
What did you said he what, George?
Garrett Wilson won it 4 times.
Okay, 4 times.
Ron Dotson got it twice.
Jahan Dotson had 2 incredible. Or I mean,
Brock Purdy only got it once.
I guarantee Dawson got it the week.
the what, Steve?
What week you guys lose to them?
11 or 12? Oh, not even 11?
Oh no,
Dotson got it
didn't
week
play
1 and week
Dotson-
15.
Yeah, Dotson didn't play the week that Washington beat the Eagles.
Anyways, next award. But we're running out of time.
Next award, we got the AP Offensive Player of the Year, which the finalists are Tyreek Hill, Jalen Hurts, Justin Jefferson, and Patrick Mahomes.
So, I got a stupid question.
Yeah.
How could someone logically explain picking a different person for this than the MVP?
Because like usually like you give the at least usually the MVP is like the QB of the team that has like the most wins and that has done like the best during the year. And the AP offensive player of the year is usually the guy that like breaks a ton of offensive records. That's usually how it works.
Except this year, those are the same person.
Yeah.
Well, Tyreek Hill also broke a lot of receiver records this year.
Patrick Mahomes.
What were my options?
Tyreek Hill, Jalen Hurts, Justin Jefferson, or Patrick Mahomes.
Jalen Hurts. I think.
Okay, that's.
I think.
I think if
It's not Patrick Mahomes, it should be Jettas.
I think Tyreek Hill had the best receiving stats of the year this year, didn't he? Am I wrong?
Not yardage wise.
Yeah, I think he like broke the yardage record. I think.
Oh, Justin.
I mean, I'd say Tyreek. If Tyreek Hill broke the yardage record, like I think he did, it's Tyreek Hill. If it's
Tyreek
not,
Hill with more yards, I'm pretty sure.
Did he really?
Yeah.
yeah, I'm pretty sure he set the yardage record in the league this year. So I think it should be Tyreek Hill for that reason, just because he broke that record. But if Patrick Mahomes doesn't win MVP, he should be offensive player. Is also what I'll say there.
Mahomes will win MVP
Because he's Patrick Mahomes. He's in the.
Well, Jalen was out for a few games.
and apparently that matters.
It does.
Because obviously you're not valuable when your team loses the 2 games that you play in.
Well, yeah, of course, Steve. I mean, that's why the MVP is a terrible award. It makes no sense. Come on now. They don't actually care about who's the most valuable player on the team. They care about the QB that's played the most. That has put up the best
They don't
stats.
think about the fact that like benching a QB late in the season means you value them that much as an organization that like you don't want to risk losing them. Like being benched like that innately means you are highly valued by your organization.
Well, Hurts wasn't benched. He was just hurt. He had a shoulder injury.
Oh, that's right.
Which-
I mean, still, I think he did that late in the season. You should probably be benching him anyways.
I mean, your argument, Niter, still makes sense. Like, I'm still with you on the argument. It just didn't make sense for this specific occasion. But anyway,
I didn't
we
realize
can
he was
move to
hurt. I thought he
defense.
just got benched because they were doing good.
No, he was hurt and they just didn't rush him back. We got the AP Defensive Player of the Year. We got Nick Bosa, Chris Jones, or Micah Parsons for the Defensive Player of the Year.
Osa.
I'm with Bosa.
I haven't watched enough of these guys. What was the middle guy you said?
Chris Jones, D tackle for the Chiefs.
I feel like that's the front runner in my eyes. That's the one I've
No,
heard
it's
the
not.
most about.
He's
No,
how
sure.
did he make it on the list?
No, I'm saying in my eyes, he's the front runner because that's the only player this year that I've heard that like be called a candidate ahead
Led
of
the
time.
league in sacks.
Leading the league in sacks doesn't guarantee you shit.
I mean, it guaranteed TJ Watt a Defensive Player
Okay,
of the Year
it's
award.
different when you have the most sacks like ever.
I mean, sure, but he played.
There's a slight difference between like most of this season and like tying the record for all time.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure Chris Jones only had like 11.5 sacks, and I think Bosa had like 18.5.
I don't think
right?
I'm just looking at sacks.
They do. It is harder because Chris Jones plays on the inside.
Yeah, that's
But
what like
to put it into context, when Aaron Donald was winning his depoys, he was having more sacks than all the defensive ends from the inside. So,
Yeah, well, Aaron
Chris
Donald was
Jones
arguably the
doesn't
best
belong
on
on this list despite having a good year. They should have picked a corner because it's only defensive lineman or a linebacker, just anyone besides a pass rusher. And Nick Bosa is gonna win.
Micah Parsons a lineman?
He's a glorified defensive end.
Fake edge, just like,
They
I was
label.
gonna
he's
say
just
like he doesn't
TJ
feel
Watt.
like a lineman to me. Like
Micah Parsons and T.J. Watt play the same position.
yeah, I wouldn't call TJ a lineman. I consider
What do
TJ
you
more
call-
like a linebacker.
Play coverage for less than 30 snaps. You're not a linebacker.
Oh, I don't
Yeah,
think
I
he
agree.
is a linebacker either. It's like he plays a weird position where it's just like go kill the quarterback.
edge.
Yeah, it should just be
he's
that's
an
what
edge
I'm.
rusher.
He's edge. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't know. It's not a lineman. It's not a lineman, but it's not a linebacker. It's a hybrid position.
It's a linebacker that just plays like a lineman.
What was that other position? Wasn't there a weird position we discovered earlier this year? What was the?
I
What
doubt
was
I
the?
discovered a football position earlier.
No, I know exactly what I was talking
No.
about. It was the Notre Dame position. I forget what it
Yeah.
was called. What they called him now.
It was a weird receiver or cornerback or something.
A nickel.
If you want no, it was no. It
No.
was actually they labeled it something really weird. I don't remember what it was.
It was like a
now.
J back. It was like a J back. It was a really weird letter.
Jack linebacker.
No, it was like
No,
an
it wasn't
offensive
that.
player. Like it,
An offensive player?
because it was for the Ohio State game. I think we were looking through the lineups when I was there, and we had a really weird listing.
I don't know.
I'll look it up.
I
We can- we
remember
But we had the conversation.
what you were talking about, but I
I
don't
know
remember.
we were trying to be
what
done
the-
in 4 minutes, and we haven't predicted the last game.
Viper.
Okay. Oh, it was Viper.
It was Viper.
That's what it was.
It was Viper.
I have no clue what that is, but it was Viper. He's right.
It was VYPER was his listed position on our roster.
Guys, we were supposed to be done in 4 minutes, and we have to predict this game. And predict the
Okay,
MVP.
all right.
Hey.
MVP. I think it's Mahomes. It's either
Mahomes.
Allen, Burrow, Hurts, Jefferson, or
Burrow.
Mahomes.
Mahomes.
Burrow. I hate Joe Burrow.
Postseason doesn't count. It's only regular season.
Yeah, Mahomes threw
That's
for like
bull.
over 40 touchdowns and
That's
5,000
bull.
yards in the regular season.
I don't believe in that.
All right,
Fuck
let's
the
all right.
system.
All right. Anyway, let's go on to our predictions. I can give mine first since mine don't matter.
Okay. All right, James. All right, James.
They matter to us.
Yeah, we care, James. The
thanks,
listeners
Steve.
care.
You're gonna hate one of my picks though.
Podcast listeners, please let James know you care.
Thanks, guys. I'm sure we'll get no comments about that, but I
Hey.
appreciate it.
I'll comment for you,
The
James.
comment
don't
section
worry.
will make sure James is not cared about.
This is now a roast James
We're
comment
gonna get our
section.
second ever comment, and it's gonna say "fuck James."
Oh yeah. That's the life of a podcast. But anyway, so the Niners are plus 2.5, right? That's what it is.
Yes.
And then the Bengals are plus 1.
Yes. That's what I got.
Yeah, give me the Niners plus 2.5. I think Niners just win. So definitely take Niners plus 2.5 there.
See, if my skill room analysis didn't reveal anything, my lock of the week will be Eagles minus 2.5.
For fairness, my lock of the week is the Niners plus 2.5. But yeah,
But I'm telling you, I think this is another blowout. I don't think the Eagles are losing a game, or I don't think the Eagles are gonna win. They're gonna win out, and I think they're gonna win by at least 14 in all the remaining games. I know I predicted the Chiefs to
You
win, and I
are
predicted to bet that, but
Crazy.
listen, I might be crazy. That might be true.
By crazy, I mean dumb.
I don't give a fuck.
all right, George. What's your pick for the game?
Give me the. This is the harder one for me.
What the Eagles Niners? is the hard one.
I picked the Niners at the start of the postseason. I just dropped my phone. I picked the Niners at the start of the postseason podcast. I am going back on that pick, and I am taking the Eagles.
Remember when George just called me stupid?
You said they're going to win every game. You said the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl by 14.
It wouldn't be the
That's
first.
what-
It wouldn't be the biggest blowout in Super Bowl history.
So George, are you locking this game or no?
No, I'm not locking.
George, this is
Okay,
the one
alright.
George isn't confident in.
Okay. All right. And then so do you just want? So I'll go for the next for the KC Bengals game. My analysis for that was everything was pointing me to take the Bengals in this game. I really at first was like, the Bengals are really humming right now. They've got the better defense. I think they've got the better skill room. And then we just talked about how much shit Eli Apple was talking.
Oh,
And I just really feel like the Chiefs are going to win this game now because there's Eli Apple. I feel like there's just some bad juju getting thrown out there. So I'll take Kansas City minus 1. Especially since there was a point this week that Kansas City were underdogs at home, which I don't understand.
See, not even just, I don't mean to cut you off, James, but not even just for the Eli Apple tweets. Even if Eli Apple wasn't tweeting, because I don't think Eli Apple's bad juju. I just think this is just some trash talk heading in. You know what the bad juju is? Calling it Burrowhead. I don't
Well, that's
think,
what I mean. Yeah, like calling it Burrowhead. Like I'm counting that all in the same thing.
No, I know, but that's particularly the bothersome one for me, and that's why I also think I have to pick Kansas City to win this game. It has nothing
Like,
to do
by all
with the fact
accounts, the
that I
Bengals
bet
should
them
win.
for
I just think they
my
won't.
$25 bet at the start of the postseason. And I'd really like to win that $100.
There you go.
But
All right. Now listen, this is a big game. Obviously, I don't know why I said that. Lately, there's a lot. Momentum's a thing when we're talking playoff football. Joe Mixon's looked like a dog. Joe Shiesty, Joe Burrow, Joey Bengal has been playing best football in the National Football League. Zach Taylor has proven he could win in the postseason. Hendrickson and Sam Hubbard are looking like the best defensive end duo in the NFL. So,
Isn't Hubbard a D tackle?
don't ever bet against Andy Reid. Angie Reid. Don't ever
Angie
bet
Reid.
you're
Red.
betting against Dad, George. You're betting against
Don't
Dad.
ever bet against Patrick Mahomes. Don't ever bet against Travis Kelce. My Super Bowl prediction is the New Heights podcast matchup. Give me to lock Kansas City in Arrowhead.
So we all. That's what I think. I think again. I just think Bengals.
Remember when George locked the Bengals to make the Super Bowl? Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Everybody else took the Niners to win the Super Bowl.
Remember when George
And he just went
completely
back on
hopped
that.
ship from
Remember
his.
when I predicted a Bengals-Niners Super Bowl?
Remember that?
George, you had some good picks this week. I gotta say, thank you.
It's all about who's locked picks.
Yeah, literally it's. You've set it up for failure. You've set me up for failure, George. I'm more confident in that. I think the Bengals have a bigger chance of winning than.
Dude, I haven't even gotten to try that yet.
All right, but I think we've all got our picks
We
in.
had the first sip of that.
George, did we decide a wager? Have we wagered yet?
No.
We should have decided this wager before I pulled ahead of you last week.
What are you wagering?
We said we were going to bet on who's going to win this last week, and now I'm ahead of them, and so like I feel like the odds are going to be really skewed now.
Oh, I mean, I can just make my prediction on who's going to win it in the end if you want me to be the
Listen,
impartial factor.
y'all have called me stupid all year. For you remember? Just remember who's 3-0 on their Broncos picks. Who's do you remember those Broncos
Because
picks?
the Broncos were covering 12.5-point spreads.
You were idiots for not taking them. That's what I'm saying. It's the guaranteed
I
lock of
think
the
you
week.
didn't. I thought you missed one of them. I thought one of them
I
you
actually
did
think he
miss.
did.
but-
I think he did miss one.
No, I missed the one that I bet against the Broncos, I think.
No, you missed the Broncos one for sure.
I
You
mean,
missed
no,
the
I think it was
second
when
Broncos Chiefs game.
I think it was when the Broncos actually only had a 7-point spread, and you were like, yeah, no, I think they'll do it, and then
Yeah,
Niners
no.
won every time they've been a double-digit spread.
Yeah.
But when they're single digits, they don't win.
Well, yeah. That's a very obvious reason why. However, I think that pretty much wraps everything up we've got here. I mean, we went a little over what we wanted to, but we're pretty much right where we needed to be for our time frame. Again, sort of like we said, we appreciate those who comment. We didn't see Platonic Panic in the comment section, so I think we scared him away. No more
What
asking
did he
him.
comment last week again?
He asked us about the Ligma situation. He said you guys need to discuss the Ligma situation. It's
Our
not-
first ever comment on YouTube was
How does he
that.
know about our Wi-Fi?
How's he know about our house Wi-Fi? We did get some comments on Twitter when we were live tweeting, but I don't.
we got a
think it was
decent. We did have
big
some interaction
break.
on Twitter. We did.
groundbreaking. Hey, follow us on Twitter at
Yeah, we're trying to be more active on Twitter.
N_W_P_.
And also, give me names of an athlete who I should keep DM spamming. I want more athletes to DM like I'm DMing Drummond.
Watch party because it was way too long for the tag. I could get to like the nay.
All right. But that should wrap things up for us. Thank you guys again. Follow us, subscribe, like our video here. Go watch our other stuff. Go follow us on Twitter. Go follow us on our socials.
Let me know if you liked the living room setup with a little bit of extra input.
Yeah, no, because we're going to be having more things. George and I, we were all sort of talking about it last week, potentially. We were thinking maybe we might have a big mock draft where a bunch of us all
Like get
represent.
about 8 people on here.
We all pick a few teams and we represent them. What if we all picked a division if we got 8 people?
Ooh.
That could be pretty easy.
Well, I was thinking
We
about
could do it.
playing it out, the numbers, to where everyone would get the draft for their favorite team.
Well, I mean,
I like that one better. Yeah, because that way we get the draft. Because we actually know.
yeah,
our
I guess
team,
that's
so
right.
it's
You
a
probably
little
want, you probably want.
Yeah, so I was gonna, once I got who was gonna actually participate down, I was gonna get some logistics. Probably the most preparation I'll ever do for one of these podcasts.
Yeah, no, but I think
I mean, we can also have it like
that could be like a whole separate show. That could be just like the boys' draft night where we
It
just
would,
sit.
yeah, it would be its own episode.
Yeah,
All right,
we could
but
live stream it, do
I
something
think
crazy.
that all wraps it up. Again, if you'd like to see live streams or anything else, just let us know what you'd like to see. But again, we're going to be wrapping it up here. Again, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for the likes and comments and views that we do get. I know I'm behind on Spotify still, but I promise I'm going to get posting that again eventually. Once
I heard that last week.
Yeah, it's again. I keep trying to fix it, and every time, every episode I record keeps getting messed up. So I keep getting more and more confused. I don't know what
That's
I'm
whatever,
doing wrong.
man. It's not a big deal.
The issue is just the file size is too big, and when I split it, it glitches. And so I need to find a better way to split it. Because for like the podcast stuff, I just need the audio. So if you're
Have you
familiar with
tried
text,
an app?
what? Yes, George. I thank you for the idea, George.
You're welcome.
We could talk about more. It doesn't matter. Thank you guys again, though. We've been signing this off for a
Are
very
we
long
still
time now.
recording?
Yeah, we're still recording. That's what I say. We got to go. Ciao. Goodbye.
Peace out, guys.
And
Thank you.
also, yeah, do we want to do one more Duval? Because this is the last episode we're actually going to be talking Jaguars, I feel like.
I'm gonna bring them up again.
We have to have this discussion briefly. Are we gonna rock the Jaguars next year?
We could talk about that next week.
We'll talk about that next.
All right. We're out of here. No Duval. We might have a Duval next week. If we're...
The
All right.
Jaguars.
All right, we're out of here. Goodbye, everybody. Ciao.
Peace.